Okay, guys, for this tutorial today, we're just going to look at the basically what it's called the free select tool. If you use Photoshop, it'll be something called the lasso tool, but in this case, it's free select tool. So a couple things to know about this tool when selected is we have a couple of items here, anti-aliasing, of course, which refines our edges and smooths things out and keeps the edges looking realistic. And then feather edges. In this example, we're going to use feather edges on this kitten to kind of give it a little soft, cuddly look. So when we click it, we want to make sure it's set to about 60. So you can pull that back and get it to about 60. 60.3 will be fine. And when we're using this tool, there's a couple things to note. One is when I'm using the tool, I can hold my left mouse button down and just like free select like this anywhere I want. And as long as I join it back up with the other end, it becomes a full selection, as you can see. Okay. The other thing though, if I click, I can do point to point like the scissor select tool, but this makes straight lines, so it does not follow the kitten's fur. But in this such situation, we don't want to. We want to basically go on the inside of the kitten's fur, not the outside, not the edge. Okay, so inside the kitten. And just select the kitten. It's a pretty relaxing exercise here to select kitty. Make sure you stay inside. And if we go too far, something like this by accident, we simply click down and drag it back to where we want it. We don't worry about getting all wrapped up and backwards like this. We click on the dot, we drag it back to where we want it. And again, that goes the same for going too far out too. You can do the exact same thing. Just drag it back. So I'll get in here, stay fluffy. Stay fluffy. Just get around the whole kitten, all the way up to the top. And I'll just use this to go up. And once we're done, the key here is to rejoin to the last or the first dot so that we make our selection. So when I do that, I've got my selection of kitty. And the second step then is to come down to our layer, and I can do it over here. It's a little more visible, and I can scroll in for you, zoom in for you here. Right click on the layer, and we want to say alpha channel, add alpha channel, which makes the ability to make our background transparent. And again, our second step here would be to select and choose to invert. So we select the background, and then we can hit delete. If you don't have a delete button, you can hit backspace. Does the same thing. And delete. So there we have Fluffy Kitty. You can see Fluffy around him, and looks pretty good all the way down. And the second thing we want to do now is we want to add a new layer by coming down to our layer panel. Sometimes mine's on this side. I added it to both. It's also over here. So down at the bottom, you'll see a little white rectangle. Create a new layer and add it to the image. Okay, that's what we want to do. So I'm going to create a new layer. And right now, I'm just going to not tag it with a color yet. And we're going to say OK. And I'm just going to toggle off the kitten for a second by using the eye tool, or the basically visibility. So the eye over here denotes that I can see the layer. When I click off of it, the layer goes away, as you can see. And now I can see this. It leaves my outline though. And by the way, to get rid of that, we just say select none. We don't need to have that anymore. So I'm on the layer that I want to put the kitten on. I'm going to just use my paint bucket, make sure I'm on white, and I'm going to fill that layer with white. And now when I come back down and I re-add kitty, the layer on top is the first layer, meaning it's the one closest to me or to the viewer. So we want to put the layer on the bottom. If you can think of a stack of pancakes on top of each other, the bottom layer is the very back background. The top of the pancake stack would be the closest to you. So that works the same way. Just flip your pancakes vertically, and the layers go back into the screen or appear to. So I'm just going to pull that layer down behind the kitten. So my kitten is in front of the layer. Now I have soft, fluffy, angel-looking kitten. And that is basically the free select tool. Remember, there's two options there to remember. One is if I hold the left click down, I can select anything I want and join it up. I have to rejoin with my beginning of my line. So I'm just going to say escape. That's another way to get out of it. The other way to use the free select tool is a little bit like the scissor tool, except it only makes straight lines. The scissor tool will follow basically the contour of the selection you're making. This will only do straight lines, dot to dot, and we'll have to rejoin them to finish the selection. So escape again to get out of that, and that's it. 2 ways to use the free select tool and a little bit of an exercise attached, and you've got fluffy angel kitty that everyone can enjoy.